you down with OTC? Are you down with OTC? OTC. Are you down with OTC? Are you down with OTC? OTC. Are you down with OTC? Down with OTC. Down with OTC.
Boom, and we are live. Welcome to the How to Review here exclusively on the chain every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Today we're going to be going a little bit into detail on the response from Ripple back to the SEC. There's a little bit of discourse going back and forth in legal responses to one another. There's also some big developments that seem to be continuing within the Ripple ecosystem, and we're seeing the RIPPLEX dev team is actually setting up a Twitch channel. We're going to talk a little bit about that today, but we are also going to dig in tomorrow. We're going to have a special guest on with us and somebody from Ripple. So that is going to be really, really exciting. We're going to have two streams tomorrow, one in the morning and one in the evening when we do the roundtable. We have a lot of things to cover tomorrow. So today, let's get into XRP, not a security. The SEC lawsuits actually injured retail investors, and we're going to dig into some of these responses from the Ripple team back to the SEC and all of that type of stuff that we're going to get into. It's all getting ready to start right now. All right, I just got notified. I guess the stream tomorrow morning is not happening. So as we'll be talking as to the minute, the details will be coming through about that stream. So hopefully we'll get a quick update here and see exactly what's happening. So anyhow, retract on what was said on that one. Why don't we get an update on that so we can let everybody know what's going on. But I just want to give a quick shout out, welcome to everybody that's joining us here on an early morning or afternoon or evening, whatever it might be. I do, oh, of course. Yeah, I do recommend that you guys grab your favorite cup of coffee. Today is Segfredo Day. It's horrible. Give them shout outs, get nothing out of it other than, being able to drink great coffee. So that's worth something, I guess. But I highly recommend you guys grab something because we got a lot to go through. And little cups of espresso. Takes a while to drink something like that. That whole thing isn't full. So yeah, why don't you guys give a quick shout out to where you're tuning in from, because we've got Jacob Doyle who's already got his coffee and he's coming in from Kansas City. So welcome all the way in from Kansas City. Let's see, we've got people joining in from all over the place. I got Cole's over there. Hey, Jeff and Chip, hope you guys have a great weekend. The SEC needs to go down. And that is really the theme of what we're seeing. A lot of commentary coming out on that exact fact of what, should or should not happen as it comes to the SEC and what is their objective. Chip and I were really digging into, exactly the case. And it's interesting, the timing of it. You have the moment that Jay Clayton left the SEC, right, prior to his leaving, his departure. He files this lawsuit against Ripple, and trying to really dissect the timing of all of it, because if you're going to leave and move on to whatever your next gig is going to be, do you leave this major landmine lawsuit to the next person in charge, or do you allow the next person that's going to come in and take over to kind of create and structure to their, based on maybe their timing. But instead, he's like, here you go. Here's a big lawsuit. I'm leaving. There's going to be an acting SEC chair. And then all of a sudden, you have a new administration taking over. The new administration still doesn't have their SEC chair and has an acting chair. So things are a little bit, kind of disrupted. But can a lawsuit like that still continue without the SEC chair, without clear direction? And the one thing that we're seeing is that maybe the SEC does not have clear direction, or potentially, clear authority to do what they're doing the way they're doing it. The orchestration of this entire disaster that has directly impacted many retail investors across the board, and without even a thought. Now, from the SEC's perspective, and we're going to see that in a minute, from their perspective, it's not, the fingers shouldn't be pointed at them, but it should be pointed directly back to the exchanges that were reacting to their news. So you get into this vicious cycle, and obviously they don't want to take responsibility for the billions of dollars in lost money. So, what do you expect for that? What do you expect? So Rob Will, every weekend I get that Saturday morning cartoon feeling watching that show. Man, you know what? That's awesome. I really appreciate that. That's probably one of the greatest feelings of all time. And when you grow up in the US, and that, years ago, because now kids have no idea what that feeling is when there's this anticipation and you get up before everybody else in the household, and it's like 6 a.m. and you're a little kid, and you get to go down into the living room and it's still dark, and you grab a bowl of cereal and you turn on the TV and you're watching the greatest cartoons ever. And it's like, yeah, that feeling, that's amazing. And there's probably people in other parts of the world, they don't really understand what that is, but there's this this feeling of anticipation and excitement to be able to sit down and watch cartoons. That's awesome. I appreciate that. David Schmall, yeah, thank you. I was traveling a little bit over the past few days, so that was great. Got to see some friends I haven't seen in a couple years, and got to work at the same time, so that was outstanding. Let's see here. Uh, oh, did I see Sincerely George on here? Hang on a second. Now all of a sudden, all my chat has just blown up here on this side here. But I think I saw Sincerely George over here. What is going on? It's great to see you on. There you are. Here you are from the beginning. Nice. That's awesome. Great to see you. So we've got Mr. K. I can't believe the SEC response back. It's like they're in some kind of alternate reality. I feel like all of 2020 was an alternate reality. But you're right. You know, they're just not on par with reality. You know, as part of the issue here. Got Harry coming in from Cyprus. Yeah, give a shout out when you guys come in here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We've got Ninja coming in from Croatia. So that's awesome. You know, the great thing about the On the Chain community is that we have people tuning in from all parts of the world. And the one area that you realize is that when you get into the cryptocurrency space, it's unique in that it is all encompassing, and regardless of what part of the world you're in, if you can get onto an exchange, you can buy XRP, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy Ethereum, you can buy, you know, and invest in your future. And that is extremely, you know, exciting and rewarding when you realize that there's people, this community, it's not small. It's not this little microcosm in one part of the world. It doesn't matter where you are. And then this is just, you know, proof, you know, that we have people that tune in from all over the place that have the same passion. And it's awesome. It's awesome. So will I get on with it? I will try to get on with it. Roy the plumber. He's busy. He's got stuff to do. So all right. Let's see. You got the coffee shot. All right, these are some older chats. We got people coming in, like I said, from all over the place. Let's see. Anyone know where these guys are from? PA, New York, probably. Not sure which guys we're talking about. If it's us guys, then no, not PA or New York. But anyhow, all right. So let's get on with it, just like he said here. So we've got Steve Higgins. Morning, Jeff. Thank you for all the great content. Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, appreciate the feedback. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Got Paul coming in from Florida. Fantastic. We all love Florida. Here we go. Okay, so let's start. Got to get the screen shared. Here we go. Let's start with this. Let us start with a little bit of a interesting, this came up on Fox Business, and I think this is a great place to start as it comes to exactly what we're seeing with the SEC against Ripple. Now, we had this continuation of a trend coming out of Washington. Now, it's it's funny. I talk and try to read the comments at the same time. But so there's this trend, you know, coming out of Washington, you know, and this has been ongoing for a long period of time, that the cryptocurrency industry, that those that invest in crypto are somehow criminals, or the majority of those that are trading in cryptocurrency are somehow doing so for criminal enterprise, for malicious intent. And it's getting stale. It's really kind of an old narrative that is just, you know, without, you know, it's amazing to me that every time you open up your news browser here, and you're like, okay, what's going on? What are they going to talk about next? And they repeat the same thing. Janet Yellen, it's just like a broken record. You know, the same content, the same statements over and over and over again. And it's just, just a stale narrative, you know, and that's something that we have to address. And there are those in the community that are addressing it, and there are those on the YouTube community, but there are those that are on the ground in Washington that are knocking on doors trying to address the false narrative, the repeat of the false narrative coming out of Washington. And, we need to dig into that a little bit more. What is up, CAK? Great to see you here all the way from Minnesota. CAK has been around almost from the beginning of this channel. That's how long CAK has been around. Way back when, I used to put photography, all the different pictures from around the world that I would capture, and I would have that, images, behind me. That's how long ago CAK has been around with us on this channel and on the show. So it's really, this is what I was laughing at before. I'm not allowed on Saturday mornings. It's right. It's like Saturday morning cartoons, Chip. You're not allowed. So here we go. Here, because no criminal uses the dollar. That's right. They don't. Nope. The dollar is not part of the criminal enterprise, so to speak. So, all right. So crypto industry to Biden. Criminals, we are not. Now, this is so relevant. And here you have Blockchain Group wants Janet Yellen to understand the value of crypto networks. Now, the fact that, we've seen this go on for a number of years. Now, this goes back to, Warren Davidson, Darren Soto, the Token Taxonomy Act, the education of the politicians in Washington as to what the digital asset space really is, what cryptocurrency really is, what blockchain really is. Now, the idea behind the Token Taxonomy Act was to normalize the acceptance of cryptocurrency digital assets into the mainstream with some regulatory clarity. I love how this keeps refreshing. But you fast forward a couple years, and we're kind of, in the same position in Washington. Washington moves really, really, really slowly. But here you have, previous representation within the SEC and elsewhere in Congress, not really understanding. But, to be fair, they also don't understand how to use their cell phones. They don't understand properly how to text or email or anything like that. But here you have Kristen Smith, executive director of the Blockchain Association, which is a leading association in the industry, is telling Vox Business here that their group is mounting a charm offensive with key members of the administration as potential new regulations loom. So a charm offensive. Now, the charm offensive would really be something where they go in and they try to show them that, hey, look, we're not criminals. We're business owners, business developers, startups, all of this. There's money being made. There's a lot of development. It's all over the world. It's out in the open. It's in the media pretty much every single day. You don't have to go too far to find information on blockchain or cryptocurrency. It's not hidden in some dark corner. But to be fair with these politicians, they're in a bubble. They go to Washington. Now they have big fences and they have military protecting them because maybe they're afraid of the people. I don't know. Maybe they're losing their legitimacy somehow because they have ideas like this. Who knows? You can make your own decision up on that one. What do they have to fear from the people? And at what point in our Constitution, is the political elite, allowed to put walls up around themselves and tear down walls around the country? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. But I do know a number of other countries where that has happened. So just saying. And then they come out with insanity like this, where they're attacking the one industry that's getting traction all over the world to the benefit of the retail investor, to the benefit of every single person in the world that can invest in the digital asset space, can put their stake into something that could be amazing. An opportunity right now to do something that they were never able to do before. Let me show some of these things that are dragging resources. Uh, this is where you begin to see, they talk about class warfare. We could look at this as politicized warfare. And you have a political, you know, elitist class that are defending those within, the old elite, and trying to prevent those that are beginning to find that, hey, you know what? We can invest on our own. We can invest in ourselves. If you have a little bit of know-how, you can potentially put a business together and build it in the digital asset space. Dogecoin. Here's a perfect example of something that was created in this space, that Dogecoin created in this space kind of as a joke, and has gained more traction than many of the other digital currencies, to the point right now that, look at this, statement over here. It's going to be accepted, by an NBA team, by Mark Cuban, is allowing his team to now sell tickets and accept Dogecoin. I mean, and this after he was bashing it. So, how crazy is that stuff? But here, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are a type of digital currency used to make transactions. Really, so now they have to go through and they have to explain exactly what the digital assets are, because there's a lot of people out there that we take it for granted. People on YouTube get it, but a lot of other people don't get it yet. They don't understand what the digital asset space is, what the cryptocurrency space is. So they need to be reminded time and time again. Crypto promoters say the currency is impossible to counterfeit, and blockchain technology allows transactions to be completed seamlessly and without costly checks and processing done in the traditional banking system. Yes. Well, why doesn't Congress understand this? Or have they been explained this and they're ignoring this fact, mainly because there's more politicization going on behind the scenes, which is what we're going to get into here in a second, when it comes to what's going on with Ripple. And we've talked about this so many times over, but there's definitely something going on. I want to give a quick shout out to KTI. Thank you for the support there. Elmer Fudd says it's SEC hunting season. Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny says the SEC is just Looney Tunes. That's exactly what they're saying. It's like the Three Stooges over there. It's crazy. Those raspberry varmints. That's funny. I kind of pawn. After being in crypto for years, I have no clue what's going on anymore. That's it. I mean, it's amazing, right? Here we go. Pat Janice, Mr. Burns is coming over, but to the SEC. That's right. You got Mr. Burns over there. We're seeing all sorts of crazy stuff going. Soon, who knows? Soon we might face the zombie apocalypse. Here we have Legendary. I hope Zimbabwe becomes the future superpower since they're adopting crypto. Man, you know what? If you go back, you have to go back and read the history of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is an amazing, story. Very similar to the story of Venezuela, where you had a resource-rich country. It was independent in terms of agriculture. They did have a decent mining resource of precious metals and stones, etc. But they were agriculturally independent and an agricultural exporter to the region. And then there was a changeover of power in government, and you had a new government that came in that was corrupted. That it was more than nepotism, because the farms were stripped from the owners and given to this new echelon of friends and family, etc. And they drove Zimbabwe from an agricultural exporter to becoming reliant on United Nations food handouts. And it put a huge drag on the economy to obviously to a negative. So if you follow the history, short history of the collapse of Venezuela, and you've seen that as well. So is Zimbabwe, similar collapse anyhow. But now, like you're saying, for them to adopt crypto, that this is an opportunity. The development within the blockchain space, what we're seeing is that one, the brick and mortar is relatively irrelevant. The development of these startups for crypto, blockchain, however you want to phrase, put the phraseology to it, depending on what they're developing, can be done anywhere in the world. You're starting to see development and startups. It could be in the payment space. It could be, industrial in nature. Whatever it is, it could start anywhere to the benefit of the region or to the benefit of the entire world. And so to see this opportunity grow in a country like Zimbabwe is outstanding. So to Legendary's perspective, for them to become the future superpower because of what they're doing. Now, there's other elements that go along with being a superpower, but they could at least be an economic powerhouse. And as an economic powerhouse, imagine how that impacts the region. Think about Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, which was 100% reliant on the export of oil-based product. They made a decision years ago that they knew that they couldn't be reliant on oil, for the long-term growth of the region. So what do? They start developing a Las Vegas-y, type infrastructure, and they start attracting crowds from all over the world as kind of like a business hub. It becomes like a playground of the rich, you know, 5 and 6 star hotels, and supercars, and beautiful roads, and just lots of places to go out to eat, and different zones. They have like an entertainment zone, and then they have the high tech zone, and they attracted people and businesses and money from all over the world. And that's a lesson to be learned, because you go from one resource that, imagine if the resource gets shut down, just turned off. Think about the impact on different countries as the price of the oil barrel dropped, how it impacted their economy, their economics. But now you go to a country that is limited in resource, but they have people, they have capability, they have potential, and you start developing and designing and building. To me, it's just amazing. I've kept this up here this whole time, but to me, that's really an amazing thing. And that's what's exciting about the digital asset space, above and beyond, is that we're starting to see this potential unwind all over the place. So what's going on, Tony? Great to see you on. It's always awesome when you stop by and tune in. And we got to get you back on the round table here. It's been a while since we've had you on. So, all right, man, Johnny, never mind, all the way from Thailand. What is up? So, all right, let's see what else we got. We got some coffee there. All right, let's move on. Let me move on. I want to move on to one more thing. This is just going to be quick. This is relevant pretty much only to those in the US, but the IRS on the top of the 1040, they put a little statement, a little sentence that says, have you transacted in digital asset and cryptocurrency, bought or sold? And this was not that long ago that they put it up there. Oops. However, where'd this article appear? This was on the Block Crypto. But anyhow, so they issued a little bit of clarification on the 1040, basically stating that if you have not sold cryptocurrency, you do not have to report that you've invested or bought cryptocurrency. The only thing that the IRS is concerned with, this is their clarification of statement, the only thing that they are concerned with is whether you bought and sold a digital asset, just like if you bought and sold stock, that they want that to be reported. So here it says, this is when it first came out. It was very ambiguous and confusing because you're looking and you say, well, it looks like they're singling out cryptocurrency investors. And why are they doing that? Why do they want to keep a record of anyone who's invested in cryptocurrency? And maybe that was their original intent, because it was a very just directed to have you invested in. And so now what we're seeing is that it looks like they issued some clarification, Q5 here. No, if your only transactions involving virtual currency during 2020 were purchases of virtual currency with real currency, you are not required to answer yes to the Form 1040 question. This suggests the IRS is only interested in using the question to call attention to crypto transactions that could constitute taxable events. Buying and holding does not, since selling, converting, or transferring are what trigger taxable events. So this is something, obviously, as you're filing your taxes, definitely talk to your CPA and your accountant to clarify and do what's best in your interest on how you're going to report it. But it was really amazing and shocking when we first saw, that, here was the statement. Look, at you guys probably can't see it like that. Hang on. Maybe not even like that. Let's see. There you go. Let's blow that up. Here you go. So at any time during 2020, did you receive, sell, or otherwise acquire any financial interest in any virtual currency? So did you receive, or otherwise acquire? And so this is why it was confusing, because they said, no, in fact, our intent was only if it was a taxable event, but it didn't read that way. And that's why it was very, very confusing at the time. And so now there's some clarification on that. So I thought that'd be important to point out. Here's something else that I wanted to go over briefly. If you guys are following ARK Investments in any way, shape, or form, which is Kathy Woods, that's her group. They have a series of ETFs. Her ETFs over the course of 2020 were just crushing it, and they're actually blowing up. Still doing amazing things. She's investing. There's lots of groups of people that follow her and then figure out where are they investing, and then they in turn will invest there. Is our sound off? Did something happen with the sound? What's going on? Can't hear anything. What? Who's out of sound here? Lionel's the only. Can everybody else hear me, or is it just Lionel? Lionel, maybe you're the only one that can't hear me. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Jeff, I'm usually not up this early. Man, welcome, John Doe Crypto. Great to see you on. That's awesome. Okay, Lionel, sorry, it's just you. Man, I'm over here checking my mic and whatnot. So this is great. The one thing that I see here is Jim Cramer. He was issuing a call for her to close off the ARK funds, and you can kind of dig into what he's saying, but I just find it interesting because I look at, and the guy obviously successful, not going to take away anything, from him in terms of his success. But I just find it interesting. Kathy Woods knows her business, knows what she's doing, has done a phenomenal job investing. You have investors all over the place that are following her trends. And basically, this was a month ago, he's just, he was giving a suggestion, and he says, close your fund, not like shut it down and stop doing what you're doing, but he wanted to limit funds to new investments. And it's crazy because he said, concentrate on performance, not on trying to deploy capital. And, her response was basically like, mind your own business. You really, don't know what you're talking about. So But really, I just find it interesting how she's gonna, he's gonna come out and say that. She says here, the irony is all I'm doing is concentrating on investing. And you can see some of her ARK funds over here. And look at this. On her ARK G, the genome fund, up 180%. Her next gen fund was up 157%. Her innovation fund up 153%. Here's another one, a fintech innovation up 108. Our ARK autonomous tech up 107. And she's just, every fund that she's really put together has been, phenomenal. It's just been really, really great. I just think it's crazy. You kind of see, some of the feedback in the space. There's always some critique, when somebody's doing well in the space. Scott Bullis, Jim, I just got into BTC 3 months ago, and now I'm telling the world to buy it because I'm a crypto genius. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what I would expect. Exactly that. Exactly. So, whoops, hang on. Hey Jeff, when is Flare Network Spark token going live? Don't know. Supposed to be in Q2, so that means soon. It could be April, could be May, could be June. Not sure yet. Legendary. Hey, great point there. Appreciate that, pointing that out. If you guys are brand new to this channel, you haven't been on before, make sure you hit the thumbs up, but hit the subscribe button down below, that little red thing. When you hit subscribe, obviously you're sub to the channel. That helps us. But more importantly, after you do that, hit the little bell notifier, because that way you get notified every time we go live. Now, we have live streams Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then every morning, just like this, at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow night on the roundtable, we are going to have Channing Smithson on with us, and we're going to be digging into Flare Finance. Last week, we were digging into Flare Network. Tomorrow night, we're going to dig into Flare Finance. So, welcome all the way from Bali, Indonesia. Welcome. So Johnny, never mind. USA trying to scare people off XRP. It's so blatantly obvious. Is it? Is it? Let's see. And I think you're right. It is. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy, because here's Brad Garlinghouse. This is why regulation by enforcement wreaks such havoc. By bringing a massive enforcement case, the SEC acknowledges they didn't determine anything, but the crypto markets, under pressure, interpreted the filing as such, causing massive damage to retail holders. That's exactly what happened. Exactly. And so you have the SEC. They came out in a statement, and we'll go over that in a second, but their statement was basically, no, it's not us, it's you. How do you like that? It's not us. We didn't do it. Go to the exchanges. It's their fault. They're the ones who responded. Every single exchange that responded said that they put the buy and sell of XRP on hold due to the SEC lawsuit against Ripple and claims that XRP is a security. Exactly what they did. Every single one of them had that statement. What did the SEC do? Filed their case, big statement. We believe that XRP is a security, and that Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, they came after them individually, and that they lied and they twisted the truth, and that they participated in selling an unregistered security, and they did it on purpose, and they did this and they did that, and this whole thing from 7-8 years ago. And so then the SEC comes out recently saying the exact opposite, again, pointing fingers. No, it wasn't us. We didn't do it. We didn't cause, billions of dollars in loss. And that's John Deaton came out, and the response to him was, it's just unbelievable, almost reprehensible, to see how their statement is, oh, don't look at us. we only filed a lawsuit against you on things that you did 7, 8 years ago, not truly understanding the technology and not ever responding to any of the other exchanges that were saying, hey, should we get a little guidance here from the SEC? We're about to list XRP. What should happen? Oh, no, don't worry. We're not going to say anything. Or when Ripple gets into business with MoneyGram, gives them XRP that is going to be sold, all that had to be regulated and cleared by the SEC. So what is going on, with the SEC? So then we go down here. And now the SEC affirms that no determination has been made about XRP and that it didn't order or ask anyone to halt trading or delist. So retail holders shouldn't blame the SEC, but instead, wait for it, what I just said, blame the exchanges. So who are they protecting? It's unreal. I mean, it really is. And then you get into, great comments here, and then John Deaton had some great comments. We can get into that. Let's see if we can get into, let me see, hang on. Let me see if we can get his latest tweet. Not sure. It's so hard to sometimes pull up the latest ones. Let's see. They believe they belong to a private club. When you join them in terms of financial success, you would be classified as new money, still not on their imaginary level of prestige. Success will be your revenge. Here, everyone should pay close attention to this. The SEC itself admitted in the motion to dismiss the writ of mandamus that the SDNY court will decide whether XRP is a security, not the SEC. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, it's ridiculous. Neither one of them can determine whether or not it's a security, obviously, because this is absurd. So now the SEC is pushing the fault of loss over to the exchanges, not their fault. They didn't do it. But now they're also saying that, hey, let the court of New York decide. I mean, that's just mind-boggling. So John was saying here, XRP has dozens, if not more, of use cases, but the SEC hopes that the SDNY will call it a security. In the meantime, Doge, which started as a joke and until very recently, after the Ripple case, apparently a commodity, according to the CFTC. Until very recently, had no use cases being developed. I mean, John Dean is spot on. You got to go back, give the guy some credit. The guy is leading a lawsuit against the SEC for the losses of those within the XRP community. And now the SEC is even making statements that, hey, don't worry about it. Wasn't us. Nope, wasn't us. You can't blame us. We're not the ones that filed the lawsuit. Oh, wait. No, wait. Maybe we are the ones that filed the lawsuit. But just because we filed the lawsuit, that doesn't mean that we actually lost all that money or caused the losses. Stephen, what is going on with John Deaton's lawsuit? So that was a response. Actually, that response from the SEC was to John Deaton. It's crazy with a lawsuit. He's going to come out with more detail on what was going on. But man, oh man, it's insane. Let's see here. I wonder if XRP will be the new form of security. Maybe that's what we're going to get out of it. It's going to be a whole brand new type of security. Yeah, I like that. Morning sub god, what is up? Johnny never. Oh my God, SEC backtracking, and now they did a motion to dismiss the writ of mandamus, again trying to buy themselves more time. That's it. I mean, when you're in this landmine, and this is what Chip and I were talking about. Did Jay Clayton purposely put the lawsuit out, knowing, because he left, knowing that it was going to be a landmine for whoever took over, purposely to create a landmine for the SEC for whoever took over? because they're sitting on a case that now they have all these statements that it's absurd. I mean, the whole thing, and we've reviewed it. Others have reviewed it. The case is so weak, and yet they keep pointing fingers. Now they're pointing fingers at everybody else for their own action. It's just crazy, just absolutely crazy. Coinbase, yeah, they need to jump on it. Coinbase has to jump on it. Think about the losses to Coinbase. Now, Coinbase, they're imminent. They're getting ready to have their listing on the stock exchange. Imminent, so it's amazing. Why they did what they did, we understand, but they should get on it because they're the ones who started the trend of freezing the asset. Coinbase is a shame for suspending XRP. Yes, 100%. Because now, according to the SEC, they didn't have to do that. And that's what Uphold was saying. Uphold was saying, we're not going to freeze and stop trading in XRP until there's a settlement, meaning until there's an outcome. There hasn't been any type of a statement that XRP is a security. Ripple and the team over there have stuck by that fact that it's not. Many have come out that said it's not. Japan says it's not. The UK says it's not. The SEC, they're running around with their shoelaces untied, tripping over themselves because they still don't understand it. Blockchain Association is using the kindness offensive, or whatever they called it, the charm offensive, to go to Congress and government because government still believes that digital assets are for nefarious purposes, that you can actually not track them. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe you can. Maybe you can track them. How did they get all the guys from Mount Gox? How do they track down people that are doing things like that? Interesting. But fiat currency is traceable. I mean, the whole thing is like upside down. Someone earlier was saying it's like we're in an alternate universe. We are in an alternate universe because the stuff that comes out of their mouth is such garbage, that they start believing all the garbage that comes out of their mouth when all the facts are sitting in front of us. I mean, you look at the politics of everything that's transpired in the U.S. over the past months, and you'll realize that people talk, and you'll see it on the news, all the FUD and the nonsense coming out on the news, just puppets talking, and in government just believing their garbage, talking, and yet we've seen all the evidence play out in politics, in economics, in the crypto space. If you paid attention in the crypto space, whether you're new or you've been around for since the beginning, 8, 9, 10 years, all the facts are there. You just have to dig back and start understanding, start looking at it, and it's there. But all this garbage that comes out. So Stuart Alderati, he's the general counsel for Ripple, put this out. Today, Ripple filed our answer to the SEC's amended complaint, notably with full transparency to the SEC. See that? Notably with full transparency to the SEC, XRP was listed on 200 plus exchanges with transparency. The SEC knew they were listed on exchanges. The SEC knew that retail investors were buying XRP. The SEC could monitor and know that billions of dollars in XRP were bought and sold monthly on these exchanges because it was transparent, because nothing was ever hidden, because you could get it on Coinbase, you could get it on Uphold, you could get it on Bitrue, you could get it on Gemini, you could get it on so many other exchanges, on Binance, and I mean there's exchanges all over the world where you could buy XRP. The SEC knew. 200 plus exchanges listed because they had to acknowledge the listing, each one of those exchanges in the US. So let's shrink it back only to the US. So here it says many market makers had daily XRP transactions every single day. And third-party products that weren't developed by Ripple are using XRP. Yet the SEC doesn't know about that. And they think that it's okay to file a lawsuit. And they think that they can now point their fingers at the exchanges because it's the exchange's fault, not their fault. I mean, this is just, it's just crazy how the garbage. I mean, they actually believe this garbage. I mean, it's unreal. I mean, it's shocking. It's really shocking. Let's go down to this one here. Hang on. Here we go. Um, we're looking forward to learning more about the SEC's meetings with major XRP market participants who asked for guidance, but were never told that XRP transactions would be subject to the federal securities law. So, so I mean, so Ripple is surrounded by the best of the best attorney-wise. The SEC, not so much. Chip has been talking about crypto enforcer, mom enforcer, or whatever, instead of crypto mom. She's now the crypto enforcer. It's just crazy. So she's a commissioner on the SEC. Where's her voice? You would expect her to be more outspoken at this point, saying, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we made a mistake," or maybe who knows. Jay Clayton. I believe this whole thing was politicized. At this point, there's more to what's going on than we see. Jay Clayton may have very well known. I don't know. I don't know if it was meant to be an act against the SEC. Was it meant to be some act against Ripple? What exactly was the purpose of filing the lawsuit and then leaving the following day? Unless maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Let's see. Scott, he disagrees. Is this a comment to someone else or to me? But let's read it. No, I disagree with you. We got problems over here. That's true, but we're still the leader of the free world. Don't ever forget that. Oh, you're talking about, I don't know if you're responding to someone else, but yeah, in the US, I agree with that. So obviously, still the leader of the free world. 100% agree with you on that one. People from other parts of the world, might agree, disagree. I don't know, but the US has always been a beacon of hope for everybody in the world. 100% agree with you on that. Lots of issues over here. A lot of this stuff, focused directed at crypto, but from a government perspective, a political perspective, obviously a lot of insanity, a lot of things imploding all around us. But this beacon of the free world, a leader of the free world, is something in jeopardy if we don't get our act together. So so that's something else. Now, the one thing that is different about this entire point as it comes to digital assets, the US will be left on the sidelines. So just because the US is in one direction doesn't mean the whole world is going to move in that direction. There is a time with the brick and mortars that if the US doesn't do it, then the rest of the world is impacted. In the digital asset space, if the SEC doesn't get their act together and there isn't regulatory clarity made not to punish, to penalize the blockchain space, but to help it grow, then that is going to move someplace else. Just we started the whole conversation earlier, talking about Zimbabwe and the potential, legendary, talking about the potential of Zimbabwe being a superpower. It could be an economic powerhouse. It could be a crypto powerhouse because we don't need Silicon Valley. That's the past. But the US needs to get behind the development of the crypto space, or they are going to lose their place in history as a leader in this technology. If we get punitive laws, penalizing laws coming out of Congress, it's just going to push everybody out. Now, if Japan is embracing Ripple, which we're seeing, fairly steadily, we're starting to see, that Asia is growing by leaps and bounds. And here even, Brad Garlinghouse, he says specifically, oops, wait a minute, I enlarged the wrong one. So Brad Garlinghouse is saying specifically, that their activity in the Asia Pacific region have not been affected by current regulatory troubles in the US. So the company is still growing and expanding regardless of what's going on. And this is the news. This is what's key, because regardless of what's happening in the US right now, Ripple's expansion is growing. Asia gets it. Japan gets it. The UK gets it. Even though the UK is having its own issues, India having its own issues, trying to figure out and navigate regulatory clarity. In the US, we have a lot of freedoms here that they don't enjoy elsewhere. We've had a lot of freedoms to invest in stocks that they don't have everywhere else. We have our freedom of banking that they don't have everywhere else. It's extremely difficult in some countries to bank and to buy stock, and you can't just do it through an online access. And in the US, we have flexibility to do so much. But here we're starting to see the penalty that can happen. And that's what we need to protect. That has to be protected. We can't allow the US to take a back seat on this, because it's going to slow down the growth of the space. To say, here, Ripple expansion, it's blowing up still, so let's not worry about it. Mr. K, it's almost too late. The tunnels are being built around right now. The rest of the world are working together to achieve uniform rollout. We get it here in Australia. Exactly. It's there. And so what is it that they're trying to hold back? Michael Atu, someone has ordered loads of plaster Paris for the court date just in case. Dr. James, freedom, yes. Free market, no. We have seen recently that we don't have control when the regular person there. That's another good point. Look at what happened. Where is the SEC in protecting the retail investor? When we saw that they fight back, because we saw what happened with Reddit, we saw what happened with the Robinhood thing. They fight back. Robinhood immediately freezes their ability to buy. Sell only. Impacts the price, impacts the market. The SEC immediately starts investigating who? The Reddit group. Go figure. There's a lot of things that we're up against right now that we have to, that we really have to protect. And this is it. This is the one area. This is like the beacon of that freedom that has to be protected. So did want to give a shout out here also to what's going on over in Ripple. So you got Matt Hamilton. He's launching a brand new RippleX Dev Twitch channel. Now, this is Matt Hamilton now works for Ripple. He's on the RippleX Dev team. But they have a new Twitch channel starting March 9th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT, 8 p.m. CET. They have some fantastic guests that are going to be coming on March 9th. VT Wind, Shay Wang, Adam Waring, and David Schwartz. All on Tuesday, March 9th. So that's going to be on Twitch. Make sure you guys, go check that out. I think that's going to be phenomenal. And this was actually, we're working to get as a guest here. So he was supposed to come on. And so he has to clear some things with the team over at Ripple in order to come on and talk to us some more. So it's going to be Matt Hamilton. Was the guest that we're supposed to have on tomorrow morning, but that apparently didn't quite work out as planned. He needs to get get clearance from the Ripple legal team in order to come on. So hopefully we'll get that. Anyhow, all right. So just a final note here. Someone, just looking at this new Chinese enterprise blockchain tech to integrate with the digital yuan. China's growing, everywhere's growing, and then you're starting to see some slowdown in the US. But we got to get that. We got to get it going. We got to continue pushing in the US for regulatory clarity, regulation. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. Once you subscribe, hit the little bell, the little round thing, hit that. That'll allow you to get notified every time we go live. That also helps the algorithm of the channel. Hang on a second. What the heck happened? There we go. So give it a thumbs up. Again, brand new, hit the subscribe button. Join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about Flare Finance with Channing Smithson. Looking forward to it. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.